Yeah, then you'll have a proper little recording studio.
I know, I'll have to start singing.
Proper little office space. Start singing.
Uh-huh.
Let's get down to business.
All right, Mulan.
That was the first one that popped into my head.
I'll make a man out of you.
That's a good song.
Careful, you're already recording. This is going to end up on a cup.
That's fine.
And that's how you're going to start the episode, isn't
It might be.
it? Yeah.
With you singing.
Oh, good. Well, you should have let me do my complete falsetto.
Oh, well, you had the opportunity.
I did.
And you missed it.
Let's get down to business, says Ben.
Well, all right, let's get down to business then.
Let's get down to it.
We're going to defeat some Bigfoots today.
Make a man out of you.
Hello there, friends, and welcome to the Paranatural Podcast. My name is Ben.
And I'm Osama bin Laden.
Wow, I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. He's Jake, and we are so glad to have you with us tonight as we talk about the Choctaw Bigfoot War. Jacob, are you ready to get down to business?
As long as you're willing to let me make a man out of you.
Sure, why not?
A wink.
Wink. Anyway, how you doing today, buddy?
I sure am. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty
Right.
good. Been dick fucking around with my 3D printer. Brand new thing. I already broke it. Well, it was broke when
Good.
it got here. But yeah, it's kind of fun.
Good. I've been putting notes into binders.
Putting notes into bind. Jacob is collecting all of his show notes into binders, and it's one thing to look at the episode count. It's another thing to look at the work behind it. It's really something. Hold one of them up for the people.
Oh yeah, because we're on stuff now.
Yeah. You gotta say something.
Oh. So this is like our first 50 episodes.
Is that what that count is in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty good lot of notes, bud.
Yeah. That's heavy.
Yeah, I bet. All mine are digital. I'd hate to see what it looked like if I printed them out.
Yeah. I mean, I have notebooks all over the place full of past episodes that I need to. I found our first episode, all my 1 pages of notes.
Church Road first episode?
Yeah,
Oh,
Church
boy.
Road.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Dogman's like 12 pages.
You should frame the Church Road notes. Just put them right there on the wall. Right there on the wall where I can
the
see.
wall of shame.
Yeah. Your bare echoey walls.
Yeah. Then I can also put Satan's Harvest on that wall too.
Put that one in the toilet.
I have 28 pages of notes for that episode.
That episode, note-wise story, that was a great, like you did a lot of really good research on that one and everything else. But wow, that episode just was icky.
Thank you for not saying sucked.
Just icky. No, the episode was great for what it was.
Yeah.
Like you did a really good job with what you had to work with.
That's rough.
The subject was rough.
That poor Maurice.
Unlike today's subject, which is still kind of rough. Just
all right.
It is about just a Bigfoot war.
Comically rough.
TBD.
We'll make it that way.
Yeah, well, I'll do my best.
All right.
So, the story actually takes place in 1855, the main part of the story. But let's back up just a little bit. So, historically speaking, the part of Oklahoma that has the by far majority of their Bigfoot sightings is the southeast corner around McCurtain County in the Choctaw Nation. So for those that don't know, there is a part of Oklahoma that's carved out and is Native American territory, and it's technically its own nation within our nation. The very best source of the Choctaw dealing with Bigfoot comes from a half-page article published in the July 9th, 1978 edition of the McCurtain Sunday Gazette. Under the headline, McCurtain County has a man-beast. So apparently there was stuff going on in 1978, which I didn't get into in this, but I'm going to look into it. It might be an episode all its own. Anyway, in this article, reporter Len Green knew many of his Choctaw neighbors whose families were relocated to the area during the early 1800s during the Trail of Tears. We're not going to get into the history of that, though I could very easily. At the time, in 1978, old-timers who had lived in the area their entire lives recalled decades of Bigfoot encounters. Yes, Jacob?
Found out why I was echoey.
Why is that?
My microphone was off.
Oh.
So let me, how's this?
Nope, still the same.
Boo.
Maybe that's better?
Boo.
There you go. Say something regular.
Something regular.
Still a little bit echoey. I don't know.
And balls.
Balls! Echoey balls.
The best kind. Balls.
Well, now you're just yelling. Now, of course, that's going to echo.
Balls.
Balls.
It does sound echoey.
Yeah.
That one sounds really echoey.
Yeah.
Balls.
Are you done playing with your balls now? Yeah, go ahead. I'll just be right here waiting on you. Everybody's waiting. Hi, everybody. We're waiting on Jake to play with his audio. It's a good thing we're on YouTube now, even though most people still listen on audio because this is really trash audio, and I'm leaving it all in. I'm not doing shit with this. This is way too fun. Way too much fun. Wow, I had a stroke. Probably a good thing the camera's not on you and you're not talking, because that is one hell of a face. He's doing this for everybody watching at home.
All right. How's this?
Oh, there you go. Holy hell, buddy.
Okay.
Wow.
We got it now.
It's almost like we're podcasters. It's almost like we do this once in a while.
I know. I just had to turn this on and plug it back in.
Well, dicks. All right. Anyway. Anywho. The old timers who lived in the area recalled decades of Bigfoot encounters. Decades and decades and decades. One man claimed that the origin of the quote-unquote man-beast was a tale told in his family for generations. It began during the early 1830s when a great witch, and forgive me for this one, Hatukchaya, moved into the area. And according to the story, he brought with him one of these huge, hairy monsters from the great Mississippi swamps. So apparently they live down there in Mississippi. And this guy used his powers to enslave the big hairy monster. Yeah, I don't know how you talk a Bigfoot into doing whatever you want, but this guy could do it.
Hand jobs.
Possibly. The Choctaw name for the man beast is Hataklusachito, which translates to mean big black man. Not African American man. Black as in like the color black. This witch man could not order the creature to kill, but he could dispatch him to harass people that he didn't like. I wish I had a pet Bigfoot to sick on people I didn't fucking like. That would be awesome. The beast would lurk around, causing mayhem and terrifying the inhabitants with his hideous howl.
Moo.
Yeah, something like that. Actually, what I find fascinating about this is when you look at stories like this, it's the little things that match up to other stories that you tell. And the howling, that's like one of them that you hear over and over and over again with these Bigfoot and Bigfoot type creature reports. However, when the creature sensed fear in others, it became fearful itself and would run away. So apparently it wasn't that mean of a critter. The witch's reign of terror lasted for 30 years, until a family who had been the focus of his anger decided to take action. One moonless night, the man and his sons crept into the witch's home, tied him to his bed, and then burned his fucking house down.
Was he okay?
It's a little hot, but he was all right. Yeah, he was fine. The demise of its master freed the creature to run wild. According to Choctaw legend, if you are fortunate enough to encounter the man-beast and show no fear, you will become its new master. So all we got to do to get us a pet Bigfoot, y'all, is find one and don't be afraid.
Don't be scared.
The very first reported sighting of such a creature by a Caucasian individual in this particularly remote region was recorded in a diary entry dated May 14th, 1849. Bertrand Taninka, a hell of a name, lived in the town of Eagle, now known as Eagletown, because they're real creative with changing names down there. He wrote of a hunter and a trapper known to locals as One-Eyed Bascom. I bet he had both his eyes. On this particular date, Tanika recorded that Bascom had walked into the general store that also served as a post office with a story about a quote-unquote strange critter that he had seen the day before in the swamps southwest of the community. He described the critter as having long arms, a stooped posture, and grayish black hair. This is a similar description of Bigfoot reported today. However, in 1849, accounts of such creatures were not widely known. According to Tanika's report of Bascom's tale, the creature fled from the hunter in a strangely loping gait, which is another thing that we hear a lot of in Bigfoot reports today. You got rid of the podcat.
He was trying to walk on the keyboard.
I doubt y'all seen that, but for just a second there was a floofy orange cat on the other end of this podcast. No offense, Jacob. You know I love you, but I think I preferred the cat.
Oh, dick.
I might have a thing with cats. There's a bunch of them running around here.
You can find it on Pornhub at /bestiality.
I don't think they have that
It's
on
got a
Pornhub.
thing. No?
No, I don't think they do.
When's the last time you went on Pornhub?
Not a clue.
Okay.
Other sites all the time, but I don't know specifically. Anyway.
What's the other popular ones? I don't like porn, so I only know the Pornhub.
Yeah, well,
What's a different one?
xnx.com. Is that one?
XNX?
I think so.
Wouldn't it be 3 X's?
I don't fucking know.
Like XXX?
I don't goddamn know.
All right.
I
We're
just
Googling
watch it.
porn after this.
I don't pay attention to where it comes from. I just watch it. I probably got all kinds of viruses. Anyway. I mean on my computer, goddammit. Wow, this episode's going elsewhere. Anyway.
You want to tell us where AIDS came from? With with this Bigfoot episode?
Yeah, we're going to get there, apparently. Anyway, Green included in his article a Bigfoot encounter that was believed to have resulted in a man's death, but not by violence from the creature. One local resident recounted the story as his grandmother had told him before her death. The man's grandfather had returned home one day, apparently shaken. He told his wife that he had seen a, quote, big hairy man while riding his horse along a trail near their home between Redland and Goodwater. As the story progressed, the fellow wasn't wearing any clothes, was hairy all over, and was the biggest man this individual had ever seen. If there was a big, hairy, naked man, I'd be a little shook up, too. I'd be like, what am I doing running around in the woods? Anyway.
Well, how do you think your lady feels?
Yeah, well, she signed up for this. About 3 weeks later, the man's horse returned home without its rider. His family went looking for him and found his body along a river trail not far from where he had reported seeing the quote-unquote big hairy man. It looked as if his horse had thrown him, resulting in a broken neck. The man's grandmother said that she had a feeling that the man-beast had frightened the horse, causing it to bolt and throw its rider. But that is not the only man to have become a casualty of a Bigfoot in this particular area of Oklahoma. We come to 1855 now. A band of Choctaws in what is now Leflore County, as well as some farmers in Arkansas, started experiencing some events. It began harmlessly enough. People in the area began having some of their vegetables and livestock come up missing, stolen by some rather stealthy bandits during the night. These bandits must have rolled high on perception and were particularly adept at their mission, and never made an appearance on nights when someone was on watch. They also deftly avoided any of the traps that were set to capture them. At this time, nobody was really afraid of these marauders. Sure, their thefts caused some hardship, but they were more of an annoyance than anything of danger. Then, women and younglings began to go missing. After reports of these people snatchings began to spread, shit got real. A group of 30 Choctaw cavalrymen were gathered up to attend to the situation. The group was led by a well-respected man of Choctaw and French descent named Joshua Lafleur. Now, just for the record, there are historical documentations to back up the fact that Joshua Lafleur lived. He was born in 1791, and his death was recorded in 1855.
So, way to ruin it.
This was a real guy. Also in this group was a Choctaw warrior named Hamas Tooby and his 6 sons. The Toobies were all just absolute units of fucking human beings. Each and every one of them was 7 foot tall or damn near and weighed well over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Just massive fucking dudes. They were regarded as fierce mounted warriors, and they rode draft horses on their patrols.
Budweiser.
Yeah, like the Budweiser ass Clydesdales. These guys are just riding around on them. They probably look like burros. These were some big ass dudes. What's even better, though, is that they were nicknamed the Light Horsemen. Anyway, these 30 guys, including their 7 pet giants, were not only followers of the stay strapped or get clapped way of life, they were also members of the Get Strapping and Go Clapping Association. So what they did, being that people were going missing, is they armed the F up. And they went hunting. They were going to catch these fellers what was stealing folks. You don't be stealing the ladies and the children's, or they going to come after you. So they get together, they take off riding into McCurtain County, into the wilderness area, to look for these, youngling nappers. You can't say the other one. YouTube doesn't like it. After riding all day, the searchers arrived in the area where they thought these bandits were holed up, and LaFleur brings everybody to a halt. And he stands up in his stirrups, and he grabs his spyglass, and he's looking around, and nobody really knows exactly what it is that he saw, but all of a sudden he ordered a full charge towards a bunch of trees. Okay? The trees were about 500 yards away. LaFleur and fucking Big Boy and his fucking offspring were the ones in the lead, which is impressive for a draft horse. Draft horses are not generally known to be that fast, but they were leading the charge. And as they closed the distance between themselves and these pine trees, they were assaulted by a tremendous stench. Something we have also heard in myriad Bigfoot accounts.
Skunk ape.
Just big old stanky fellas. This apparently, though, was the unmistakable odor of decay and decomposition.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Most of the men's horses began to like buck and rear, and they didn't want anything to do with whatever was making this particular pungent aroma. And some of the riders got tossed off completely. The Tubi men apparently were just too big to get thrown off, and they kept controlling their horses. And LaFleur's horse must have been a good boy because it didn't buck him off. Anyway, these 8 continued on through the pine trees. As the men cleared the small wooded patch, they came upon a large earthen mound. Scattered all across the mound were the bodies of the missing younglings and the women, and they were found in various stages of decomposition. LaFleur and the Tubies caught a glimpse of a number of the murderers fleeing the scene. Only 3 of the killers stood their ground to meet the charge of the light horsemen. It was at this time that the cavalrymen realized they were not going up against any human foe. Rather, standing before them, snarling and beating their chests, were 3 huge, hair-covered creatures. Despite what must have been a shocking sight, LaFleur drew his pistol and his saber because this man has some nads. How do you ride a horse with steel balls that big, Jacob?
One on each side.
Yeah, damn right. Maybe he had
No
a
wonder
big
he
horse
didn't get
too.
bucked off.
Yeah, his big old nutties were holding him on there. Draws his pistol, draws his saber. He's looking down at 3 big Sam Squanches, and he charges. That is a man. That is a man.
He deserves his own barbecue sauce.
Hell yeah, he does. He got a county named after him.
That's something. It ain't
Something.
barbecue sauce, but it's something.
It's damn something. As he approached the nearest ape-like creature, it took a mighty swipe and struck his horse in the head, killing it instantly.
Oh, damn.
That is one hell of a hit. Horses are not little. LaFleur managed to roll off the falling horse and jump to his feet, at which point he fired multiple rounds into the chest of the assaulting creature. Once his pistol was empty, LaFleur attacked the creature with his saber, managing to open up gaping wounds on the animal, which roared and charged in pain. LaFleur's assault was apparently so quick that the shock of seeing hair-covered monsters so great that the Tubi men hesitated. These big giant men were like, the fuck is going on here? And I can't say as I blame them. I would have been a little confused myself. Giant or not. Like, what the fuck is that thing? What is he doing? Our boss is attacking a gorilla with a sword. What the fuck is going on here? I would have been a little confused myself. Anyway, they were apparently completely stupefied and then went, fuck it, and joined the fight. The delay, however, allowed one of the other 2 apes to get behind LaFleur, who was intensely focused on the creature he was currently engaged with. And yeah, I
Opening.
would be too. The second beast grabbed LaFleur's head with two huge hands and ripped it from his shoulders.
Was he all right?
I would think probably not.
Shit.
Yeah. This sight was horrible enough that it jolted the 2B warriors into action, and they opened fire on the three Sasquatches with 50 caliber rifles. Now, every article, every retelling of this story says 50 caliber Sharps rifles. I don't think so. I can see where that would be a mistake to make, but the Sharps wasn't invented yet. The Sharps Buffalo rifle was not invented yet.
In 1855, it would be like a 50 cal muzzleloader type of thing.
Would have been
wouldn't
a
it?
flintlock or percussion cap muzzle loading rifle, yes.
Yeah.
But still, the 50 caliber did exist. It was very
Yeah.
popular at this time, especially among like mountain men for bears, you know,
And Sam Squanches.
and possibly Sam Squanches. Pardon. So
Okay.
while every article says a 50 caliber Sharps, I'm thinking it was probably a 50 caliber muzzleloader. Still a damn deadly gun. Two of the beasts were killed instantly. And I would think so. If you get hit with a 50 cal, you better be a tough son of a bitch or you ain't walking away from that. The third creature was wounded, but turned and fled before the lethal shot could be fired. Robert Tooby, who was only 18 years old but was already 6'11" and well over 300 pounds, spurred his horse because he also has the balls to go with being that goddamn big, and ran down the injured creature and killed it with his hunting knife.
What a man.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Give
at
him
least,
a barbecue sauce too.
at least he's about as big as that thing. Jesus Christ. The LaFleur guy, he was about the same damn size. But anyway, or he was little. This guy's at least 6'11", Jesus. The rest of the troop, we're talking the other almost 30 guys, 23 guys, how many ever's left, gathered their panicked horses and joined the light horsemen, at which point they surveyed the area. The bodies of the dead, stolen people looked mostly eated, and they were just all over the area. And the whole place smelled of decay and the beast's feces. And it was bad enough that a lot of the men tossed their cookies, if you will. Yeah. So after they got their shit together, the men gathered what they could of their missing, people and buried them. They also buried their leader, Joshua LaFleur.
And two holes or one?
I'm thinking two, with nuts that big. Had to be two.
Well, I mean, missing the head.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they probably put that back. I mean, like, you stick that in there with him, As for the ape-like monsters, their bodies were placed upon a huge bonfire and burned, which is not how I would dispose of something covered in hair. Anyway.
Pew.
With that particular hellish task complete, the Choctaw warriors returned to Tuskahoma, where they had began, and it is said that even the mighty Tooby men were plagued by terrible nightmares for years afterwards. So that is the story. Now, like I said, there is historical evidence to suggest that Joshua LaFleur was a man who truly existed. I believe he owned a general store, kind of on the edge of the Indian Territory. Was a very well-known man. His death record does not list a cause of death. So take that for what you will.
Beheaded by a Bigfoot isn't on the options yet.
It's not on the tick box. When you hit the
No.
drop down on the website, that's not on there. But yeah, there is the story of the Choctaw War with Bigfoot and the demise of Joshua LaFleur.
Ripped it right off.
Ripped it right off.
Mortal Kombat style, huh?
Just his head fell off.
His head fell off.
I don't know where that is. Where is it? Where is it?
You better find it.
His head fell off.
There it is. Nailed
There
it.
you go.
Like 20 minutes late on that one, but yeah, there it is. There it is.
Minutes.
Yeah, there's the story.
I like that story.
Same here. And I know it's a short one, but it's a good one.
What was the attack on Ape Canyon or whatever?
Yeah, what about it?
Which one was that?
That was the attack on Ape Canyon.
Was that the one where they were like holed up in the lodge?
Yeah, they were in their mining cabin. Yep.
Yeah.
This
Seems
is
like,
to me, this is an even better story.
yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but it's a way better story. Ape Canyon, nobody's head got snatched.
I know Bigfoot got sliced up by a 5-foot whatever dude with giant nuts.
Yeah. Now, another fun fact, just to kind of tie this in with some older episodes. The area that we're talking about is not far from the Arkansas border. We talked about a particular Bigfoot type creature very near the western side of Arkansas when we talked about the Boggy Creek monster. And it's not far. Like Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, it's all right there. So yeah, there you go. What do you think, Jacob?
I like it. That was a great story.
Yep.
I love these ones.
It
I
is
don't
a good
know where you
story.
find them, but I love them.
So this one, I was actually, I had heard the story years previously, but I was reminded of it as I was scrolling my YouTube, which is my suggested videos are a very wild place to live. And I saw it come up again, and I was like, oh, fuck, I should do this for the show.
I'm glad you did.
So, yeah, there you go.
I like these stories. I don't know. Like, you find these battle episodes, like, starting with, the goblins. Kentucky Hopkinsville goblins.
Yeah.
Start with that one. You've had...
They're the best stories. I don't know. I just love them.
They are. One of these days, I'm going to find one. Like, Dulce Wars a little bit, but it wasn't as comical.
Well, I don't know what's funny about a man getting his head snatched off.
Everything.
Yeah, okay, fair. Look, it was over 100 years ago. Like, it was almost 200 fucking years ago.
Right, so we can laugh about it.
But, still, he's got some huge nads. I don't know. That guy.
Yeah, they're probably still there decomposing.
If this story is
The size of a
true,
wall.
that guy was he was a man.
Rip Josh LaFleur.
We salute you, sir. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for spending your time with us here on the Paranatural Podcast. You know we love you very much. If you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to share the show with a friend or two or three or how many of your friends you got. I got Jacob. He already knows. Or I'd share the show with more of my friends. Until next time, we love you. Good night.
If you see a Bigfoot, attack it with a sword and a gun. Throw some nads. Have a good night.